The history of the origin of HIV in humans. HIV, or Human Immunodeficiency Virus, is a disease that has changed the lives of millions of people worldwide. However, few people know that this virus originated from another virus called Simian Immunodeficiency Virus, SIV, which affects primates like chimpanzees and gorillas. SIV doesn't harm these animals, but it made a dangerous leap to humans, giving rise to what we now know as HIV. But how did HIV first begin in humans, and how did it spread? The story begins in the 20th century, when humans began hunting and consuming meat from primates. This process is known as bushmeat hunting. When people came into contact with the blood and tissues of these animals, SIV could transfer from the primates to humans, creating a new strain of virus. This is when zoonosis, the transmission of disease from animals to humans, likely occurred. HIV, the virus most responsible for the current AIDS epidemic, originated from SIV-CpZ, a type of SIV found in chimpanzees. Researchers believe that, around the 1920s or 1930s, SIV-CpZ was transmitted from chimpanzees to humans in Central Africa, particularly in the area now known as the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Here, people were hunting chimpanzees and gorillas, handling their blood and meat, which likely led to the initial transmission of the virus. Once inside the human body, the virus didn't immediately cause illness, but over time it adapted and evolved into what would later become HIV-1. Over the following decades, the virus continued to evolve, eventually giving rise to what is now known as HIV-1, the strain responsible for the vast majority of infections worldwide. However, HIV remained relatively isolated in certain areas for a while, and it wasn't until the 1980s that HIV was identified as the cause of acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, AIDS. AIDS is the final stage of HIV infection, where the immune system is severely weakened, leaving individuals vulnerable to opportunistic infections and certain types of cancer. At first, HIV spread slowly. It wasn't immediately recognized as a distinct disease, and it wasn't until the 1980s that it became clear that the virus was causing a unique set of health problems in certain populations, especially among gay men, intravenous drug users, and people who received contaminated blood products. As the disease spread across various regions, it became a global pandemic, devastating communities around the world. HIV's emergence is a clear example of how viruses can jump from animals to humans through processes like hunting and the consumption of bushmeat. Today, scientists believe the virus spread through human interaction with primates, and specifically through hunting, handling, and consuming infected chimpanzee and gorilla meat. This process of transmission, which likely began nearly a century ago, was the beginning of what would become one of the most devastating global health crises. In modern times, scientists continue to study HIV's origins, and we now know more about how the virus made its way from animals to humans. This knowledge is crucial in understanding how viruses like HIV can emerge and spread. It also serves as a reminder of the importance of protecting wildlife and the need for better hygiene practices when interacting with animals, especially in regions where zoonotic diseases are more likely to spread.